Hello, good morning, gentlemen. Taylor with you from Sri Lanka Equity Forum. I thought most of your people are willing to see my face. Actually, so many people request me through the private contacts and whatever. Come for online and do some suggestions about this market situation. However, what I am going to tell you in this situation, just keep cash in hand first, because now cash is the king. In earlier concepts, what we are considering that initially goods are king. Like if you have some goods and some things, goods are king. Then after that, it came that customers are king, because most of the businesses think that if you have some customers, especially regular customers, they are the king. And because whatever the items we have, we cannot sell if we don't have consumer or customer. So, but what after this COVID-19 changed the whole world? Now, what is that again? Goods are king, correct? If you have money but we can't purchase anything, we cannot buy anything, so in that case goods are king again. And customers, as customers we have money, we have purchasing power, sometimes credit cards, whatever, debit cards, whatever, online banking and notes, foreign currencies, whatever, cryptocurrencies, whatever. Now we cannot buy what we desire. What we deserve we have to buy. Now suppose you want to eat one pizza, that is your desire, but you deserve to eat noodles. This is the life change in this situation. So what I am going to tell you, just use this situation wisely, because whole world, if you are thinking the whole world is going to finish within a day or two, you should not touch anything, and you should live this at last 10, 15 or 20 days, harmony, happiness, whatever. But most of you are thinking that whole world will not finish and it will exist, and this is not a big disaster as some expects. This is actually controllable. Time to time these kind of scenarios happen to the world. In 1990, if I am correct, Spanish flu, 50 million people died as per the records. In 1820 also, so many people died. And prior to that also, in between, in the historical way, 1000, 2000, 3000 years ago, even so many disasters happened. Natural disasters like tsunami recently, and prior to that, like if you think about the dinosaurs, how they gone from the earth. If you consider about that in such a situation also, disasters will happen. Disasters in future also we can expect after 2030, 2050. Predictions there are some, especially some people, some scientists, they are predicting this can happen. So world is changing. We cannot stop it. Same way market also fluctuating. Okay, because earlier there will not be markets, but earlier also supply and demand was there. Suppose if you think about the coconut market, more supplies come. If demand remains same, price will reduce. More supplies come, if demand also going high, there will not be price will go for the upward trend. But if supply is same and demand is less, like what is happening here now, supply is there sometimes but demand is high, supply is there sometimes but no demand and no access to the market. So many things. In the same way stock market also, because we are practically we are in a business. Just don't forget that shares are trading in digitally. You cannot touch it, you cannot feel it, and even you will not see some realized gains. And sometimes even you will not feel your unrealized gains, because you will not get into encash it. Once you encash only you will feel your money. Just example, you invest one share and you have 10,000 shares. Okay, profit is there 285,000, but you will not feel it. Because why? You are not consuming it, you are not taking it to your as physically cash or whatever digitally cash. You are not realizing it, that is unrealized. So in the same way, now most of your portfolio, not most of, I think more, maybe 99% of your portfolio going to maybe red. But it doesn't matter. You know why? Markets are changing, business are changing, customers, way of spending, everything is changing. So in that situation, so what I am suggesting you, just ignore these temporary things. Just think about the practical business, how business is moving, how you can earn money through those kind of business, because you are a shareholder means you are a owner of the business. Just think about that. You are practically doing a business. So how supply come, how demand, and how you are getting profit, what is your cost of sales, and what is your overhead. So just imagine that. Just calculate what are the effects. Raw material prices influences. Sometimes now raw material prices are less, like cost of raw materials are less because of the less demand. Sometimes no raw materials at all because of the no supply. And everything is linked together, not like, because this whole world is a globally it's a universe. So you cannot avoid the world. That's the thing. So what you have to do, even CSC companies, listed companies, we have around 300 companies. What I am always suggesting, most of the companies are no, don't touch most of the companies, because especially some companies I am not recommending in from beginning, but most of you guys criticize my idea, because when I am suggesting at the same time I sold 7% of my portfolio in January. After the election I sold so much, because I know how to value my holdings. And you just simply, most of your people just simply, if you are more positive also sometimes dangerous, more negative also the same thing, because we have to understand human nature. Because if it is going psychologically, if it is going down, it's very difficult to stop the market. So my dear friends, what I am telling to you here, so forget everything, forget negatives. If you think whole world will exist, just go for the positive. So what type of companies you are going to touch, that is only my concern. Just imagine what kind of companies can survive without any hesitation. You can see last 2 weeks which companies they perform really well. Of course, FMCG companies, fast moving consumer goods, supermarkets like Richard Peary's Afico, and same way Cargill's this really well job. They directly bought from the farmers and they sell it really reasonable price. I know personally, even I know practically how they arrange the things. Even kills. So that means till you born, till you die, you will eat. And telecommunication, secondly, because those sectors also performing some positively, and pharmaceuticals also, because basic needs. Just think about basic needs. Even people get infected to corona, they have to eat till they die. Because I am not negatively telling, don't misunderstand that, but we have to practice the death. We have to remember it, because if you think, if you don't have that timeline, maybe you will invest 200 to 300 years. What's the use? So that's why if you enter into an investment, you should have a timeline. When I am exiting, what is my exit point, what is my exit price, what is my profit margin. You have to understand those things. Don't be so greedy. That's why Warren Buffett says, a bird is in hand is more value than 100 birds in the jungle. One time he has said about that. Because these kind of things, because a bird is hand is a controllable to you, but 100 birds in jungle, you never touch it. So that's why I'm telling you, be positive, be realistic, and practical also. Sometimes you buy a share and you think it will go 500, but now it's 50 rupees currently. So how is, there's no realistic, no? So always think about the festive factors, political, economical, psychological factors. You have to think. Otherwise, you are in high risk. Now, most of you purchase. I know that practically and personally, some people told that you have purchased most of the shares by margin. Some margin exposed to 70 to 80%. Now, what you are going to do? You are worrying about that. And some portfolio going down and margin is going high. So you are in risk, and now you are expecting to some benefits from the central bank, whatever as government promised that they will do some interest free timeline. If it's happened, it's okay, because we should not expect everything from the government, because as an ordinary shareholder or whatever investor, stock market investor, we should always try to manage risk. That's why most of people are telling you should not touch 20% shares. You should touch 20% shares, but 80% you should avoid if you don't have cash. So that means if you have cash, you buy 20% and 80% you keep in hand, and you have diversified the fixed deposits, whatever lands, whatever your assets. Because this economic environment, political environment, and whatever the natural environment like disasters, anything can happen. So how we will manage it? So that's why I'm telling you always, be practical and be ready always. And sometimes if others are selling, you have to buy it. If others are buying, you have to sell it also. I'm not talking about the manipulation. Okay, I am totally against of the manipulation from beginning. Whatever I have written in the forum, you and I gave my full objections about the manipulation. Is a sin and is against to the nature, because if you are giving some pressure to people, because just imagine that if you are manipulating a share price from 10 to 60, if someone is coming 50 rupees and he's near to retire and he put his whole money of that share, so what will happen? He will never come through. He dreams. Why? Because there is a seat, nothing will happen, there is no value. So this is not good. So always be ethical and professional and respect others in this industry, because this is not a vegetable market. It's not a type of another. This is really fantastic, really interesting. Just imagine if you are a shareholder, if you go to your own your hometown, just imagine you start A to B. How many companies you will pass? Your right side one bank, your left side one bank, your right side one supermarket, your left side some hotel. So you are the shareholders. So you should feel, only the thing is the percentage of you hold. That is only the thing. So what my concern, now you should help these businesses to grow. You can suggest. Bad times are not every times, because bad time we have to face, and that is not every time, that is not for permanently. It's like 10% of the whole lifetime of a company, we can say bad time, basically averagely I'm telling. But once company grow, and once they have utilized their funds properly, and once they have managed their risk properly, because some companies I know, because personally I suggest, you know, as my favorite one of Counter Helix Export. One time in 2016-17, like I was the largest 21. So even Richard Pires, I am even Texas Jersey I am holding, and some other companies I don't want to disclose here. It time to time I enter, time to time I exit also, but I just studied their business model, because especially Helix Fiber, what I am thinking, their cash position and whatever, if they don't do any business, even they are earning 4-5 rupees for the interest income. EPS is coming nearly not 4-5, more than that. It's coming through the bank deposits only. So those kind of companies we have to understand, especially cash rich companies, and business growth also we have to understand. I'm not talking about the personally one company. Even in my personal life, I purchased Dialog below 5 rupees in 2009, prior to war, because I was in the market in a long time. So Dialog has paid me also some good enough dividends, especially TJL, based on the purchase price. I have earned whatever 3 times, 2 to 3 times, nearly 3 times dividends. So what I am telling you, don't give up, because most of the people now you are panic and you are really in trouble. I know that, but what I want to tell you, be positive in this situation, and try to study. You have more time now, because you are not attending jobs, because now I am outside of Sri Lanka, so I have to attend my job sometimes online. Currently I am working online also, and sometimes I am attending trophies time to time. Risk is every day, everywhere, and this is the first time we experience such scenario. So what you have to think, just write down your mistakes, what you have done last 5 years, and just write down, we can say, your strengths and your weaknesses, like SWOT analysis. No, if you type in the Google or YouTube, you will see this SWOT analysis. What is your strengths and weaknesses, especially investment? You are so greedy, or you are go getting like so whatever, and you are panic and you didn't get the opportunities. You trust others, sometimes you trust advisors, maybe you believe forums, so whatever things. So what are the your strengths and weaknesses? Just list down. So just I wanted to tell you, this is my first time in live video, because most of the guys ask what we have to do. But personally, I have diversified my holdings in these different ways. Some in foreign currencies, especially when I am going to invest in Apple. It was around $112. I can remember. But that time Sri Lankan rupee to 1 USD equal to also very less price. Now currently I am getting USD gain nearly 70 rupees. Forget Apple share price are 4 down, even USD gain, because unfortunately our rupee is so much depreciating compared to other countries. When I am starting my job, when I am getting paid, now almost it's like double currency depreciation gain. Suppose if I start to save my overseas employment salary, now within a very limited time, it's like almost I am getting 75% salary increment because of the currency depreciation. This is really disaster, but we should have some strategically approaches to avoid this, because you know that we are getting foreign currencies from so many ways. One is especially expatriate income, like us, we are sending to, I believe it's 8 billion to 10 billion last year. And tourism income we have, and except that exports such like garments and tea, rubber exporting, and some processing raw materials, whatever. But now the problem is most of the countries, they cannot survive, so they cannot pay their labor force. Just imagine, if you think about expertise, around 300, around 600,000 plus, highest numbers are living Saudi Arabia, and after that United Arab Emirates secondly, and third, if I am correct, I believe Kuwait, and even France, Germany, Australia, like that, Canada, India, our experts are living. So all the economies, now what happened? All the economies going really under pressure, and those governments, especially you have seen, I don't know, Australian Prime Minister, if I am correct, he says that those who came for the studies, and those who haven't some like visa, like just for come for studies and even visiting, I request you guys to go, like that Australian Prime Minister says. But except that Sri Lanka is really nice, no? Sri Lanka, we never request any foreigner to, we didn't compel to go back. Even those who are working our countries, we didn't force them to go, because as a country we have that, we are great. But Australia, they simply says that if you are coming for studies, we are not getting any responsibilities. Our priority is our citizens. So these kind of things also happening. That's why day by day things are changing, and sometimes government cannot control, because they are in a huge pressure. Like Oman Airlines, they have terminated so much of contracts because they cannot pay salary. Even Sri Lankan Airlines, they have cut, if I am correct, 10 to 30%, like they have cut. Even Brandix, they have cut up to some, like CEO level, they are working free of cost, free of salary, free of charge, and other guys average cutting 35 to 40% cut, salary cut is expecting. So in that case, it's really unpredictable situation, but we should not worry. Opportunities are there, all like every dark clouds, like there's a silver line, like there's a saying, no? So whatever. So what I am thinking, still we have time. Because most of you guys are young, correct? So still you have 10, 20 years, or more than 30, 40 also possible, because some guys, those asking some questions around 19, 20 years. Personally, I assist some guys. So what my concern, be positive, keep cash in hand for the time being, and just enter the market slowly. I'm not talking about it because till people are there, till customers are there, business will exist. Don't worry about that. Okay, because till we live, we will eat, we will consume, we will have medicines. Okay, we will use as a basic, now it's like a basic need now, communication we will use. So of course, some business will exist. So don't think this is this is like ending of the whole world. If you think about that, just give up everything and go for think about the next birth and do some practices. And what my concern, definitely we will control it, but sometimes it can take 2 to 10 months also possible, as per the current scenario, because figures are coming very high, less recoveries and more fatals, and it reached more than 1 million infected patients. So not only as a country but also as whole world, we have to think this situation. So what my concern, live today, okay, plan for the future, that is different thing, and just write down your strength and weaknesses, and then we can discuss later. So thank you very much, I am taking your time more, and I have some other works also, and just two guys request me, come and online and tell something, you just write only, and and I'm not in the mood also, because I plan to go come to Sri Lanka for the new year, this April, but unfortunately I missed that. And last year I was there 4 times in Sri Lanka. 4 times I came there, but now no luck. But I am not worrying. And you are worrying about only CSC. I am worrying about another 3, 4 markers. But I never regret about whatever the decisions what I have taken, because some companies, especially CSC, when I touch, even Dow Jones same, those prices are very low. So still I am happy about my investments, and I never regret, because one day we will die, one day we have to give up all these things. But investment is a challenge. I won't take that challenge. That's why I'm analyzing and doing these things. Once prices are going high, that is my satisfaction, not only the money coming to me or whatever. I'm not such a rich guy. Okay, take care then. I wish you to success your dreams, and support the government also, and you can manage your own responsibility, because don't go outside, and support them. Even here, we are not going outside, and even night times curfew here. So what I am suggesting you, be at home, try to cultivate something, like there are some 3, 4 cultivations, like radish, tomato, and especially chili. You can grow it, and you can get the harvest within 1 month, 1 month, within 6 weeks, like you can get really nice harvest, even is spinach and this thing. So once you are doing personally, like your like horticulture, whatever your home, what will happen, uh, supply will be more to the economy, like market or your village, and you will not buy, you will reduce your buying from the outside, correct? So then it's a help for other guys, those who are living in cities or town, whatever, because they don't have a chance to cultivate, maybe they don't have enough area, or maybe they are living in flats or whatever. So then more supply is there and demand will less and prices will come down. That is the theory, so if you can cultivate at home, you are actually you are like king now, because now goods are king, not customers. So if you have enough vegetable and these things, of course, what I suggest, you can become a king. So do something, think about that, and share your ideas also, and let's see how we can go ahead with this disaster. But personally, what I believe, this will not exist long time, but financially, whatever they affected to the world, it will go till next year, end of next year also possible. So manage your wealth nicely, and don't waste your time. Earn knowledge, and do something for your next birth also, and practices your things for the. And I'm like, if you can become vegetarian also. Mhm. As usually I'm telling to you, and we have to protect animal rights also. That is, I personally I believe, and it's difficult, but I like. So I respect those who are pure vegetarians also. Uh, okay, thank you very much, gentlemen. If you have any suggestions, just give some comments. Okay, thank you very much.